Hello, everybody. All right, it's 2:30 on the mark. I'm going to give it a minute or so here before we start up with everything. I want to give people a chance to catch up and see what's going on. And we're going to be talking about what's coming next, what's around the corner, what is actually happening. And it's going to be a very interesting program, I think. I think a lot of people are going to find it really different than what they expect. I'm happy to be here with you. And if you don't know, my name is Michael Voss. I'm the Dragon of the Southern Tier, and this is No Soundbites Allowed. So I hope everyone's going to have some fun. Now, and I'm checking over some notes because I've been doing a few things here with the show. In fact, I'm going to switch. There we go. Oops. Yeah, there's more than one camera now. So hopefully people like that. I don't know. And there's a bunch of things that I want to talk about here. I just want to give people a chance to check in. Because it's not time to talk about politics, really. It really isn't. There's so much else going on and so many other issues, so many concerns. But there are so many things that have really caught my attention, have really been very troubling. And I want to share some thoughts about what to expect next. The best way to defeat fear, the best way to get rid of this omnipresent weight on all of our backs as we are shut down individually and throughout the cities is by saying, hey, I'm not afraid. That's the best answer I can think of. We're not afraid. Let's have actual answers. Let's deal with actual conversations. Let's really address what people are thinking about. And when we do that, you're not going to be afraid anymore. And if we're not afraid, well, then we're all doing great. Then it's going to be better for everyone. And that's the most important thing, I think, is that no one should be afraid. It's not something that we have to deal with. Fear doesn't help. In knowledge and information, they help. They make things better. And that's what's really important. Now, I'm not sure if anyone's seeing this on Facebook. Should be on Facebook at this moment. But I'm not seeing it there. Okay. So if anyone's on Facebook and you notice that this is up, let me know because it should be live. And for anyone who's on YouTube, this is live there. And we're going to keep going. And I'll send out a message in a second here so people will know exactly what's going on. So, God, there's so much. I want to say, please, everybody, one of the most important things, please, if you are not feeling well, if you feel like you want to harm yourself, reach out. Reach out to the National Suicide Hotline. Reach out to friends, family members. Use social media for what it's there for, to let you be able to contact people. Do not harm yourself. We are seeing huge increases in the number of people who are going out there and are acting very badly. According to the LA Times, in their article that was LA Suicide Hotline sees rise in coronavirus-related calls and counselors feel the pain. This was released yesterday, April 5th, and they mention in there that nationwide 300,000 calls have been made to crisis centers about people wanting to harm themselves as a result of the COVID and coronavirus situation. So please keep this in mind. I mean, in that same article, they happened to mention when Governor Cuomo was on, and he's talking about the impact of mental health on the nation has been huge. It has been enormous the way it's been affecting people. And so over 6,000 mental health professionals in New York State alone have gone out there, and they're out trying to make sure that you're going to be able to get the help you need for your mental health. And I think it's important. There's a lot of free online services that are available, throughout the state, and please use them. Amid the ongoing crisis, there's 40,000 health professionals that are volunteering to be able to help. There are thousands of people calling every day. And in New York, you can call 844-863-9314 to be able to speak to one of the 6,000 mental health professionals that are out there that are just there to help people in this crisis. If you're not feeling well, if you're feeling bad, they're here to help you. Take advantage of it. I cannot emphasize that enough. I know we all feel we have issues, and a lot of people have issues right now. You can get past it. You will do better. Don't worry. So that's something that's very important. And I don't know if this is going out live now like I want it to, but even if it isn't, I want people to know that there is help out there for you if you need it. And that's one of the things I wanted to talk about, because not a lot of people are talking about the mental health issue that's going on right now, the concern that people have for mental health. It's a big issue. It's a big deal. And a lot of people need help. And I hope that they can get it. So that's one of the big things. I mean, it's one of the big concerns, making sure that people are able to get the help that they need. But that's not the only thing. There's so much more. And I have a huge list of things that I want to talk about. And I want people to be able to contact me about it and let me know. So, I mean, here are some of the things that we do know. And I want to start to show off with this. New York State is going to continue to be shut down until April 29th. That is a fact. We know that. Governor Cuomo came out and said that today. New York State is shut down. And nope, Facebook has not connected yet. I don't know why it hasn't. All right. But New York State is shut down till April 29th, according to Governor Cuomo, as of today. Also, Governor Cuomo also announced today that he's increasing the fine for people who break the social distancing rules from $500 to $1,000, which I think is outrageous. But again, that was his announcement today, that he is going to increase the fine for breaking social distancing rules from $500 to $1,000, effective today. So you can't go to work. The state's basically shut down, and you can't be interacting with the public, or you're going to face a $1,000 fine, because they believe that will stop the coronavirus. I don't believe that will stop it, but that's what they're thinking. And I'm getting messages here, so I'm just trying to keep up with it all. So keep that in mind, folks, that the state's going to be shut down. Many states are going to be. In fact, 41 states have now shut down. So all but 9 states across the nation have shut down to some extent or completely, which is terrifying. That's scary. And, most of that has happened in the last week of March. So when we look at the unemployment rate, most people don't see the impact that this has had, that this is really going to have on the nation. And that's a shame, because we are in a recession. Please plan for the fact that we're in a recession. Don't take this as a negative. Take it as a positive. You're prepared. 10% of businesses are going to close around the nation. We haven't seen that happen yet, which is a good thing. But if we're not prepared, the shock is worse. And, right now we see that the unemployment rate has gone to 4.4%. Over 500,000 people just in New York State have become unemployed because of the coronavirus. And I think that number is much, much higher. 1.4 million people in the United States have become unemployed within the last 2 weeks. And I think that number is much, much higher. And the fact that we're going to see another 40 states adding on to this number, we're going to see the unemployment rate increase. It's probably going to go from 4.5% where it is right now, 4.4%. It's going to go all the way up. It'll probably reach 10%, maybe 12. And we're going to see that probably by the end of April. And you're going to see all the news media talking about it. It's going to be on all of the airwaves, and they're going to be like, oh my God. But don't fear this. Don't freak out. It's okay. We know this is going to happen. And that's one of the most important things is we know this is going to happen. And since we know it's going to happen, it's not something to be afraid of. And that's the big thing. If we're not acting in fear, we can adjust. We can make changes. We can do what we need to do. But if we're just acting in fear, well, that's the problem. Now, keep in mind, right now, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, we see that what I think is one of the big numbers, the self-employed workers, hasn't really dropped yet. We're at 8.8 million small businesses in the United States at this time. That's only a slight drop from where we were a month ago, and it's still above where we were a year ago. That's a very positive sign. Now, expect that to go lower. Expect that to go significantly lower. We could see this number break 8 million, which is very bad for the economy. Very, very bad. Back during the Obama years, that number was somewhere around, about 7.8, 7.7 million. And that's when we had unemployment levels of 7, 8, 9, 10%. So this is something to be prepared for. Be aware of it. Know that that's coming. By the way, I also want to address something that's, an elephant in the room. I know. My tooth is busted. I'm having trouble speaking. I know you can see it. It's something that I can't do anything about. And the honest answer is that, back when I was 12, I had a fight. I lost the fight, and I had my face slammed into concrete, and that broke my tooth. And I have a fake tooth that I always fill in, and every decade it breaks, and then I have to go and get another one. So it doesn't hurt, but it does look stupid. And it just so happens this is when it's been a decade. Broke again, and I haven't gone to the dentist yet to get it fixed because there are people who are in greater need than me at this moment. It's cosmetic for me. I'll survive the cosmetics. But that being said, let's go forward. I'm really upset that this isn't showing on Facebook. It really should be. I don't know why Facebook isn't posting this. It really should be. But that's Facebook for you, messing with you. So I was mentioning, 41 states, we're going to see unemployment go up. We're going to see it triple. We're probably going to see about 10, 12%. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of the numbers that people are saying about the coronavirus. It is still 98% survival rate in the United States. It is still 95% global survival rate around the world. And that's taking into account third world nations with no medical supplies whatsoever. That's taking into account places like China and North Korea, where people were already disadvantaged long before this virus came out. You are going to survive this. You are going to do well. You're going to be okay. And that is one of the biggest things that we can say. You're going to be okay. And if you don't feel like you're going to be okay, the National Suicide Hotline is a number you can call. Please reach out to them. Reach out. But I want to demystify this. I want to take away the terror. I want to take away the fear that a lot of people are feeling right now, because we don't need that. That's not necessary. It's not beneficial. It's not helping anyone. and talking about, oh, how contagious this is. How many new cases are there? I know a lot of people are worried about that. Throw that out the window. That's not important. It's the least important is how many people are being infected by this. Because you're going to survive. 98 survival rate, a 98% survival rate. You're going to survive this. The virus is not the most dangerous thing you can be dealing with at this time. That is a fact. No. The thing that's really dangerous, the thing that's really fearful is people acting just emotionally, without concern, without thinking about what they're doing. That's the part that scares me. That's the part that people should be worried about. Hang on. All right. So I just sent out a message to people, let them know what's going on here, since Facebook, in its wisdom, is blocking the feed. But let me continue. Now, keep in mind, for business owners, yes, it's a struggle. And I want to keep as many of them going as possible. We want to keep as many businesses alive as is possible. And to that end, let's keep in mind that the Small Business Administration, as well as New York State, as well as many local communities, are working very much together to try and make sure businesses are able to get short-term loans. Many of them are forgivable, that will allow your business to continue to operate, to exist, to get through this time period. Take advantage of this if you can. Take advantage of the fact that these loans, which will be forgiven. I am absolutely sure. The government, in terms of the law, said that it may be forgiven. I am absolutely sure the government is going to eventually make this absolutely free, that they are going to forgive these loans. We're already $2 trillion in debt. I don't see them holding this against people. Business owners need this money. They need this money to be able to get through this period where they can't get sales. We understand that. The Small Business Administration, as well as local government, are working to get you that money. I know a bunch of my friends and business owners have reached out about that and have asked about that. Please reach out to the Small Business Administration and the local communities. We have the IDA in my area, the county, reach out to the county and the local, oh God, I can't even think of the word. Several of the programs that are out there in your local community about small business to be able to get that funding you need to get through this, because it's scary. And you need to be, if the small businesses fall, if we lose that engine of growth, then there are no jobs for people to go back to at the end of this. If they can't make it through April and probably May, then there is no business to go back to, and we lose as businesses. I mean, I'm afraid we could lose 10% of them as is. So let's plan. Let's take advantage of the money that's there now. And I have no doubt, whether it's for individuals or for businesses, this is not the last time the government is going to be giving a stimulus. More money will be on the way, I am sure. Look at the tea leaves. Look at what people are saying right now. The government wants to make sure everyone has enough money. The $1,200 they gave out, you have to wonder, why was it $1,200? Because that's the average cost of a 2-bedroom apartment in the country. They are giving people enough money to be able to have housing, to have shelter. That's not enough to pay for everything else that everyone has, to get food, to get clothing, to be able to travel for those who need to travel, to be able to get food from wherever you need to get it from. It's not enough money. So that means that we're going to see the government do it again. If we're going to have people locked down until May, possibly June, you're going to see another tranche of this. You're going to see another check come out to the Americans. And probably this is the beginning of the universal basic income. The Yang Gang is probably dancing on, just dancing. Because, here's the universal basic income that they have been pleading for. The $1,000 that Andrew Yang was talking about. Well, this is it. Everyone's getting it. Mind you, the country is going broke with this, but the money's there. And that will get you to pay at least your essential bills, your housing, leaving unemployment to take care of food and other services while you're not able to go to work. So there is that opportunity to look forward to. So like I said, there's a lot of things I want to talk about here. And I'm upset because Facebook and I think even YouTube at the moment may not be showing this live, which is very upsetting to me because they should be. Well, actually, no, YouTube is live. So let's talk about something else that's also important, something that's also gotten me very concerned, something that I'm kind of afraid of, quite honestly. A lot of people have been talking about guns forever in America. We've been talking about guns, who's got guns, who doesn't have guns, blah, blah. There's been a lot of talk about gun control. We've heard the governor talking about, in this crisis, how they want to limit people's guns. We've heard people say they want to take away people's guns. There are people who are highlighting the fact that there have been absolutely no mass shootings whatsoever. So it's not the firearms that are the problem. And in fact, part of the thing that we did find out about and has come out is, let's think about this for a second. There's been no mass shootings, but there are 2 million more people with guns than before. And that's not just me guessing. That's from the New York Times. 5 days ago, the New York Times put out the article about 2 million guns were sold in the U.S. as virus fears spread. You want to go back a little bit further in time? No problem. You can go back to ABC talking about gun sales on the rise as coronavirus spread. That's March 21st. You can go back a little bit further than that. I believe there's an article from the 19th of March as well, talking about actually March 16th, also from New York Times. For some buyers with virus fears, the priority isn't toilet paper, talking about gun sales. Also CNN talking about gun sales. So folks, there's a lot more people who have firearms now. And they scare me. Not because they are gun owners, but because they are untrained gun owners. These are people who've gotten, mostly, we've been seeing a lot of people getting self-defense. They've been getting shotguns. And I was recently talking with the Rochester Personal Defense, Mr. Dave Jenkins, about this. Even just before being here on the show, I was also talking with a friend of mine, Mr. Frank Johnson, about this. He's a New York certified personal trainer, not personal trainer, but firearm instructor, who's also talking about this. For everyone who's gone out there and says, I need to defend themselves, they need to be able to defend their homes, defend their families. For women who are concerned and have to defend themselves. I've talked to several women who I know, and I have encouraged them, and they have actually asked me about getting a firearm from themselves. Good. I'm glad. You should do that. But at the same time, not only should you execute your Second Amendment right, but also go out and get trained. Make sure that you can do this properly to be able to be safe, to be able to make sure that you and everyone are going to be okay. So my big concern, and no one has been talking about this so far, no one has mentioned this at all, is that there's 2 million guns. Let's assume that even if there's one person getting 2 guns two firearms per person going out there, and that they're getting a shotgun and a personal handgun, that's 1 million new gun owners. People who don't know what they're doing. People who have not trained on the rifle range or the shooting range to learn how to properly shoot the firearm, how to properly load and use that firearm, who don't know about the proper way to protect themselves. You know what? Please get training. And you can. You can reach out. As I mentioned before, you can reach out to the Rochester Personal Defense Company. They're out there doing training for people to help people learn how to properly use firearms. They have courses for ladies. They have courses for shotguns and other courses that can be used. They are very, very helpful. I also want to give a shout out to one of my friends, Mr. Frank Johnson. Okay. He is, as I said, he's certified in New York as a personal firearms instructor, and he's great at it. And if you don't know how to reach out to him, go to his website. That's Frank Johnson, and you'll be able to, don't mind the Corona mask. He's a great friend, and Frank will be able to help you. So, that is another person. But get your courses. Learn about first aid. Learn about emergency preparedness, handgun training. For ladies, learning how to use that course. For law enforcement training. To be able to get your pistol permit. Because a lot of people are getting shotguns. And shotguns are not the same as a handgun. And none of this is like in the movies. Please. If you're going to defend yourself, and you should, and I respect that, and I defend your right to have a firearm. It is your Second Amendment constitutional right, especially in times of crisis where some people, some bad people, do really stupid things. Yes, you should be able to defend yourself if you think you need to. But get trained. Know how to do that safely for yourself, for your family and friends, and even for that assault, that bad guy breaking into your house. It's important. It's a big deal. And I know that they are out there. Most of these shooting ranges are down, but you can still. I know the Rochester Personal Defense mentioned how they plan to be having online classes about basic safety techniques with firearms. And I advise you, if you are one of those new gun owners, if you just got a shotgun, if you're a woman who got a pistol or a shotgun to protect yourself, anyone who did that, please learn how to handle that firearm so that you can protect yourself properly. It's the worst thing in the world to not know how to use the firearm you're using and harm yourself or others because of it. It's an important thing. And no one's talking about it. No one. But I will. And this is a scary time. This is a really scary time. There's so much that's going on. Our government is wasting so much money. If it's going to spend the money, let's spend it on things like helping people who are becoming new gun owners, because they've suddenly understood what many of us have understood, that there's danger and problems to protect themselves. Hang on one second. Hello, this is Michael. Hey, John, hold on. Hang on, folks. I'm about to put someone on the line with us. And can you hear me now, John?
I can hear you.
All right, we can hear you too.
Fantastic. Michael, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic, except Facebook won't allow this to go live stream.
I saw.
But YouTube is, so there we go.
That's why I was watching it. Mike, you seem to be a little bit down today, but I don't know if your audience knows it's your birthday today.
No, I actually hadn't mentioned it. That today's my birthday. I'm spending my birthday talking with everyone here. So
Yes. And also, it seems like there's been some websites coming up and some other stuff coming out and posted on Facebook. You want to talk a little bit about that, too, since it's your birthday?
I'll mention it. I'll mention it. It's I haven't been very bold or public about it, but it's not something I'm going to shy away from as soon as I can figure out where I have it. I have so many windows up. Oh, there it is. So for a lot of people who didn't know, I'm running for elected office. And I have my website up. It's Vasquez or Broome. I'm running for the Broome County Legislature District 13. And I put together a little website. Some endorsements are already out there. And it tells a little bit about who I am, why I'm here, why am I doing this. You can check it out, and it'll give you some more background information about it. So that's not the focus of what this call was about, what this conversation was about, excuse me. But I did,
No, of course not.
But yeah, I'm running, and there's going to be time, and I did want to launch my birthday with this announcement and be like, hey, I'm going to be, running. That was what I had hoped to do, but, it's not everything works in the world like we think it should.
No, and with Corona, I think now is the time for someone to stand up and take a stand, especially in these dire times. We need a leader, and that's why I brought it up, because I think you're the right guy for the job, and you're going to be a great leader when you get into office.
Well, I like to believe I will be, but sometimes being the leader is to say, what's the biggest need for constituents? What's the biggest need for people? And right now, it's talking about not having fear, not reacting in fear, and buying out all the food so no one has any food, buying all the toilet paper because no one can have toilet paper. It's having a plan because we know we're going to be shut down in New York State until April 29th. It's knowing that we're going to be in a recession because 41 of the 50 states are shutting down since the last week of March, the first week of April here, and that's going to affect our economy. It's that we tell people that if you are not feeling good, that you're feeling like you want to harm yourself, suicide prevention is the thing. And that there are services out there that you can call, like on the screen, that will be able to take care of you. And that number, in case you're listening to this and not looking at the screen, is 800-273-8255. Please give them a call if you have that need. There's nothing wrong with doing that. And letting people know that, hey, for everyone who wants to defend themselves, protect themselves, take care of themselves, you know what? Go on out there and get that help. Go to places like the Rochester Personal Defense. Reach out to people like my friend Frank Johnson, who's also the co-founder of the Liberty First Foundation, and go out there and say, hey, let me learn how to do this properly so I can properly protect myself and my family and my property. Because if we're acting without fear, then we're going to be okay. It's when we're acting emotionally in fear, with this media hype behind us, that weighs us down, that drives us crazy, that makes things happen irrationally. I mean, that's what I think. What do you think, John?
No, I completely agree, and I think you brought up a point that isn't being talked about. Training, and there's nothing better than getting prepared as someone who, for firearm owners everywhere, it's something that needs to be done regularly, and I think for these new firearm owners, nothing is more important than getting the proper training so you don't actually accidentally blow a hole through your foot or anything like that, which would be terrible, and we don't want to see that. So
No.
I couldn't agree with you more, especially during this time, Mike. Sounds like you're doing great. These are topics that need to be talked about. You're the only one talking about it, ironically, but...
Well, sometimes that is the case where I'm a little bit ahead of the curve on a lot of things. By the way,
yes.
Folks, if you're wondering, John Rasusha, he's a wonderful friend. He's been working on a lot of things, and John is... Here's a good picture of him. That's John right there. He's the little one. The other one's Dave Rubin. He's not Dave Rubin. He's the little one. So just giving people an idea of who we're talking to here.
Mm-hmm. And isn't it true that you also have an upcoming guest on the show that you're going to be excited for, Mike?
Yes. But I'm not telling anyone that until it's confirmed. Until I get to have that call. That call's coming up there. There's going to be a very big guest, a really unique guest that I'm looking forward to. And it's going to be great.
Oh, it's going to be so much fun. All right, Mike.
I will tell people it's a woman. And and John, thank you. He helped make sure that this could happen.
Yes.
It's a great guest.
For those who don't know, I am the guy who gets Mike most of his guests when he needs them.
Yeah,
So,
a lot of the bigger names. You've gotten a lot of big names, so I have no question about
yes.
that. And thank God for John. He does a great job with that.
And just wanted to make sure your audience knew it was your birthday and you had some big news too. Some good news to go along with the reminders and the very, very tough times right now.
Yeah, well, they are tough times, but we're not alone.
No.
We're whether you're a conservative, a libertarian, a Democrat, I don't care if you're plot, you're not alone. We're all in this together. And if we look at this with a plan, if we look at this with a purpose, we will get through this. Because 98% of everyone is going to be fine. My audience, everyone listening to this, you're going to be fine. I am absolutely confident of it. The numbers are behind me on this. Whether you're looking at the World Health Organization, the CDC, I don't care where you look at, you're going to be fine. You're going to get through this. Now, the only question is, since I know you're going to be here tomorrow and you're going to be healthy, more people than not, how can I help you? How can we help each other to live the best life we can through this situation? This is my way of doing it. There may be others, and I'm open to hear that,
Couldn't agree more, Mike. Could not agree more. Like, you take the words out of my mouth every single time.
Well, good. That's too much competition for me, and you're too young. You'd be able to do it better than me, I'm sure. No doubt.
All right, Mike, continue your show. Just wanted to call in to make sure that people were getting some good news and that they knew it was your birthday today so they can wish you happy birthday.
Absolutely. And for people who don't know, even though this is on YouTube, since Facebook doesn't want to publish it for some reason, I will publish it later once I'm done. So you'll be able to see this. It's still going to reach everybody. But John, definitely pass it around to people. Let them know.
Absolutely.
All right?
Will be. You have a good one, okay, Mike?
All right, you too.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Yeah, folks. So that was John Rastusha. Good guy. And I'm glad that he called in and that he noticed that Facebook, that the code to the YouTube page, which is the No Soundbites Allowed, instead of the Voss political commentary, since Facebook, for whatever reason, is not allowing it to go through, which is very annoying. Very annoying. But that being said, something else I wanted to mention. Yes, I've had a lot of people who've come to me, women and men, who said, I want to get a firearm. And they want to learn how to use that firearm and want to be able to defend themselves because the government isn't always there. The government can't be everywhere, and it can't always be there when you need it. That's something a lot of people are suddenly realizing. Government is good at many things, but it's not good at everything. And government can't do everything when you want it to do it. So we need to be able to take care of ourselves, to be self-sufficient to some extent, to self-defend ourselves if we need to. But there's also a lot of other people I've talked to, and they're having a lot of difficult times. There are some people who emotionally are having difficult times with the isolation. I know from time to time I've had that problem. Everyone does. I mean, we're stuck in our homes, and I'm by myself. I have my puppy Khan, of course. He's a good dog, but not a whole lot of human beings here because of this isolation that's been forced on us. People weren't prepared for that, and a lot of people are having trouble with it. There are a lot of people who've, there are medical issues that are still happening every day. People still get sick from regular things. Not everything isn't coronavirus. There are still people who are having to deal with the losses of family and friends. These things still happen. Life is still going on. And for each and every one of you, I wish you the very best. I give you my support, my prayers. I am here with you. And for everyone, you can reach out to me. The phone number is 607-242-1582. Reach out to me. I am more than happy to talk with you. I'm more than happy to help you if I can. Whether it's trying to get a phone number for you, letting you know that a program exists, letting you know what some of the law and legislation is, whatever it takes. Or just listening and letting you say, hey, I just want to scream and bitch about things for a little bit. Because sometimes we need that to blow off steam. Life isn't perfect. It isn't easy. And the timing is never perfect. It's never what we want when we want it. Almost never. But that's okay. Because we will persevere. We will survive. And we will continue to move forward. No matter how much doom and gloom may be on the daily news, on the media, throw that away. We've been through this before. We've been through worse. We have been through far, far worse. SARS and Zika virus and, the flu. We've been through this. The world has been through this. The Spanish flu, we went through this. So now having to deal with the Chinese flu, and yes, it's a Chinese flu because it comes from China. The Spanish flu was in Spain. Zika is a place. Ebola is a place. Deal with it. This virus is not going to end the world. We will survive this. And these little tidbits, I hope, are helping people to understand that no matter what you're going through, there is a way to get through this. And you will. You will get through this. We all will get through this together in the best ways that we can. Oops, wrong thing. We're going to get through this together because we definitely can. We have the ability. We are strong enough. You are strong enough. You are good enough. You are capable enough. I know this. Oh, I've talked to so many people who listen to the show, who follow me, who've been to my speeches, that see me in person. And I hope everyone gets a chance to speak with me in person about the issues that are important to them. And I can tell you, you're going to get through this. You are so powerful, so fundamentally strong. And it's not because the government made you strong. It's because you were born that way. You are a wonderful person. And this is an opportunity to just realize you are a wonderful person, capable of doing phenomenal things. And this is just a stepping stone for you to go further and better. You will. I have no doubt. And I'm so happy to be able to spend this time with you guys. And for me, this is part of what gets me through this virus, is being able to say, I can talk to people. I can reach out. I can help. It may not be the perfect thing, but it is something. It's something that I can do, something that I do well. I know Cuomo saying you got to stay in. He's going to charge you $1,000 to be outdoors. Within reason, I get that. But get outside. Walk around a little bit. Even if it's just going around the corner, just sitting on your porch, just standing outside your door. See the outside, get some fresh air. Go and give someone a phone call you haven't talked to in a long time. Clean your house. Reorganize. I've done a bunch of all of these things myself, and now I'm going to do more. I got another month. I'm updating my websites. I'm making sure that they're all up to date. I'm making sure that my political campaign can go forward, even though I can't reach people door to door, that I'm going to do that. I'm going and I'm reaching out to friends I haven't talked to. I'm researching and trying to get people to come on the show and do interviews. I'm trying to find out about details that'll help improve people's lives and make sure you're going to be able to live better, safer, and stronger, that you're going to be able to achieve everything you need. And that when we get done with this, we're going to walk out of this virus with as many of our local businesses, all of our small businesses, as many of them staying alive as possible. Because when we get done with this, everyone's not going to suddenly turn around and go straight to the store. That's not going to happen. It's going to take a little while. But if we can keep them all going, if we can take care of them, if we're able to get them through this with us, at the end of the day, we all do that much better. And I think that's what's really going to happen. And the best answer to being stir crazy is talking, having a conversation. In fact, because Facebook wouldn't let me do this directly, I'm going to try and get onto Facebook directly after I get done with taping this to spend another hour on Facebook, because I want people to be able to get this. Not just to get it, but to get it live, if at all possible. Because you're important. Each and every one of you, you're important to me. And I know you're going to be okay. And I know you're going to be around. And I want to talk with you. And I want you to feel good. I want you to feel empowered. I want you to know that you're stronger than this, because you are. I have no doubt of it. Not for a second. You know, I don't know what else I really wanted to say here. Well, there's a lot of things I wanted to say here. I've got pages and pages of stuff. But that's too political. And it's not time for that. It's kind of that time. There's a lot of concerns out there about overreach of the government. There are a lot of concerns about how do we pull the government back, bring the world back to where it was before we had to deal with this, how we readjust so that in the future, the next flu, the return of the Zika, this virus, coronavirus, which will be back later this year, the next virus that comes out, that we don't go and shut down the world every single time. It's not always necessary. How do we get back to our centers? We're going to work on that. I don't have all those answers. But together we'll get there. We'll have that conversation. We will make a plan, and we will be prepared. And by being prepared and having that plan, we will all get there together. That's what I think. That's my plan. That's my goal. Hopefully I'll be able to get there. But folks, I'm looking forward to your comments. You, of course, can always reach me at 607-242-1582. You can reach me at MV Consult on Twitter. You can reach me at Voss Political Commentary on Facebook. You can reach me here on YouTube on No Soundbites Allowed. I love you guys. I want you to do well. You're going to do well. And I'm here for you as best as I can, and in as many ways as I can. I'm here for you. So everyone, be well. I'm going to talk to you again soon. And I'll see some of you on Facebook very shortly. All right. Bye-bye.